As the conflict progressed into mid-1948, several key battles and operations emerged. In the south, the IDF carried out several offensives, including Operation Anfar and Operation Death to the invader. The Egyptian army had established a strong presence in the Negev, threatening Israeli settlements and supply routes. The operation aimed to break the Egyptian siege on the Negev, protect Israeli settlements, and reclaim lost territories. The Israeli forces included units from the Givati and Negev brigades, executed coordinated attacks on key Egyptian positions. On July 12th, the Egyptians executed a strategic plan to surround the village of Negba, aiming to prevent Israeli reinforcements. Despite the simultaneous assault, the coordination between the Egyptian infantry and armor was poor, leading to disjointed efforts. Negba's defenders held their ground, even as the Egyptian forces advanced to within 50 meters of the perimeter. Unable to break through the Israeli defense, the Egyptians retreated, leaving behind a Fiat M 1340 tank and 4 Bren carriers. Israeli forces estimated Egyptian casualties at 300 killed and wounded, while their own losses were 5 killed and 16 wounded. After failing to penetrate Israeli villages, the Egyptians assaulted the lightly defended outlying Negev village Be'erot Yitzhak. The attack came as a complete surprise to the Israelis, who had been busy setting up fortifications. They managed to penetrate the village perimeter, but the Israelis concentrated in an inner position in the village and fought off the Egyptian advance until reinforcements came and drove out the attackers. Israel launched Operation Dani in an attempt to capture territory east of Tel Aviv and then to push inland and relieve the Jewish population and forces in Jerusalem. Phase 1 of the operation involved capturing the cities of Lod and Ramle, which are located southeast of Tel Aviv on the road to Jerusalem. Ramle was a major obstacle for Jewish transportation, as the people in Lod and Ramle had been attacking Jewish traffic in the area from the beginning of the war. Capturing these cities forced traffic from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv to take a southern bypass. Phase 2 aimed to capture the fort at Latrun and break through to Ramallah. On July 9th, units from the Palmach began approaching Ramle from the south. At the same time, troops from the other brigades began attacking villages north of Lod, and the two towns were captured the following day. On the other hand, the second phase of the operation faced significant challenges and ultimately failed. One of the major setbacks was the series of costly and intense attacks on the heavily fortified Arab Legion positions at Latrun. These positions were strategically crucial and fiercely defended. The operation was complicated by the imminent UN-imposed ceasefire, which pressured the Israeli forces to achieve their objectives swiftly and hindered their ability to regroup and strategize effectively. Israeli forces launched Operation Kedem with the goal of capturing the old city of Jerusalem from Jordanian control. Making their move on the 16th of July, the plan called for a coordinated assault on the old city from 3 directions: from the north through the New Gate, from the east through the Zion Gate, and from the south via the Jaffa Gate. A combination of delays in execution, strong Jordanian defenses, and difficult terrain surrounding the old city led the Israeli forces to fail in their operation, with the death of 17 Israelis. Aiming to seize control of Nazareth, which was a major Arab stronghold in the lower Galilee and surrounding villages, and aiming to link Jewish-controlled areas and secure vital supply routes, Israeli forces advanced from the southwest, capturing several key Arab positions and villages on the way to Nazareth. And on July 16th, the city of Nazareth was captured with relatively little resistance, as many Arab forces chose to withdraw rather than engage. This secured the lower Galilee for Israel and dealt a major blow to Arab morale in the region. As the fighting escalated, the UN intervened again, pushing for another ceasefire to prevent further bloodshed. On July 18, the second truce officially came into effect, with both sides agreeing to halt military operations. Both sides were required to cease all offensive operations. This included halting troop movements, refraining from launching attacks, and maintaining their current positions. However, after some on and offs, Arab villagers of the area, known as the Little Triangle, south of Haifa, repeatedly fired at Israeli traffic on the first day of truce, killing 2 motorists. The Israelis managed to quickly neutralize the area, forcing 3 Arab villages to surrender. On September 16th, Count Folke Bernadotte presented a definitive new partition plan for Palestine. He proposed that the Negev desert, as well as Lydda and Ramle, would go to the Arabs. He also added that all Palestinian refugees were to be granted the right of return, with compensation for those who chose not to return, a massive political and demographic concession demanded of the nascent Jewish state. The United Nations was to control and regulate Jewish immigration, directly restricting a foundational principle of the State of Israel, and the Holy City was designated for internationalization. Consequently, on September 17, Bernadotte was assassinated in Jerusalem by Lehi. The group, viewing Bernadotte as an existential threat and an Arab puppet, acted to preempt the plan's acceptance and eliminate what they believed as a serious obstacle to Israeli safety.